Yo, what up, guys? Coach Dan is here. I got the ring light set up, so look at all this stuff. It's looking. We could even change the lights a little bit. Whoa, that's not that good. Even better, right there. There we go. So in this quick video, I want to talk about. So I just got off the phone with some guy, right? Don't want to say his name. He's a really cool guy, really honest guy, super focused. I loved his energy. I loved his dedication. He was hungry. But this is one of the free coaching calls that I just sort of offer to people for free. Like I do free coaching calls free of charge just because I know that if I serve people powerfully, a percentage of them are gonna want to work with me to implement these tips after we get off that call. But if that's not, then that's totally cool. Like that's awesome. I mean that's fine. But I just know that a percentage of people are gonna want to work with me to implement this plan after we get off that call. But in this video, I want to talk about what went on during that call, what his struggles were, what are some of the free solutions that I offered, and kind of what he overall really wanted, right? So this guy was around 30 to 40 years old, right? Don't want to say his age. I don't want to give out too information. He has wife, he has kids. You know, he's all natural. He doesn't want the regular bodybuilder look. He wants the old school physique look, right? And he was currently running like an upper lower routine, and he started doing full body because of Lever Colbert, and he started tracking his macros, and he's been seeing good progress with his weight loss, right? So some of his issues were that he can't get to the six-pack point, right? And I was looking at his diet, right? I was like, okay, well, what are you doing for diet? Like, what are you doing for training? He's like, I'm doing full body. I'm doing this much volume. I'm doing 9 sets per week. Tracking my macros. I'm doing about 25% protein, 25% fat, 50% carbs. And I was like, wow, interesting. Okay, cool. All right, so here's what I told him. I was like, you know what? You need to follow more of a balanced diet, something that's not so high in carbs, not something so high in, not something so high in carbs. Like at least balance it out. Something like 25 to 30% fats. I don't know. Something like 25 to 30% protein. Maybe drop the carbs a little bit. Kind of manipulate them a little bit. And I think this would definitely help out with your fat loss. Just because he was telling me, he's like, yeah, I'm losing the weight, like it's going good, but he's like, I want to make sure I'm maintaining my muscle mass. I'm like, totally. And I told him, hey, you know what? There's a difference between weight loss and fat loss. So weight loss is that you're losing sheer body weight, like you're dropping down from 170 to 165. That's weight loss, right? Now, weight loss depends on it fluctuates, and if you ever tried losing weight yourself, it fluctuates for a lot of different reasons, right? You take a shit and all of a sudden you lose 2 pounds, right? You lost 2 pounds of shit, and you're like, oh shit, I lost 2 pounds. But then the next day you gain it back, and you're like, why did I gain the weight? Maybe because you ate something salty the day before, and now you're drinking a bunch of water today. Now your water weight is up, all right? Or maybe you ate a lot the day before, and this day you didn't. Like that's why your weight fluctuates so much, and that's why I really like Vince Rana, where he talks about, what does it matter what the scale says if all you really care about is what you look like in the mirror? And that's really true, just because it's like all we really care about, and when it comes to classic bodybuilding, is the overall aesthetics. We care about the body composition, how the body looks. Like Frank Zane was like, yeah, what do they do when you go on stage? They look at you, they don't measure your biceps, they don't weigh you out, they don't see how tall you are, they just look at your physique and judge that. So that's something really people need to really drop. Like, fuck the scale, all right? It doesn't mean shit. That's why I wrote a free ebook, and if you haven't checked it out, go ahead and drop me a comment right here, and I'll send it to you free of charge. Like, it's a free ebook, and it'll help you create that clarity in your diet. All right, so back to the fat loss to weight loss. Fat loss is more of a, you're building muscle or maintaining it and losing fat at the same time. Like you won't, like some of the clients I work with, they won't really see a big fluctuation on the scale. When it comes to body composition, a massive change in the first 2 weeks. Massive change in the first 2 weeks. As soon as I plug them into the nutrition programming, boom, first 2 weeks, they see a massive change in the love handles, the tummy, the body composition. They get leaner, the V-taper starts really coming out, the shoulders start really popping out, the V-taper, the waist is getting smaller. So that's the difference between weight loss and fat loss. Weight loss is, just losing sheer body weight. Like you could be 5 pounds lighter but still look the same. That's weight loss, right? Now fat loss is that you're maintaining the muscle, you're either maintaining or building the muscle, but also just losing body fat. Like the tummy is getting smaller, the love handles are tightening up, but you're also looking bigger and actually getting bigger. So that's the difference between weight loss and fat loss, right? So another issue he has was tennis elbow, right? Now I'm not a physical therapist or anything like that. He was actually going to physical therapy for this issue, and I asked him, hey, do you do any type of like warm up before you work out, any type of stretching, post workout, nothing? He's like, no, not really. He's like, once in a blue moon, yeah. And I was like, okay, here's the thing. I think it would be very beneficial if you did, and really supportive if you did a lot of maybe some type of foam rolling, some type of dynamic warm up just before you get into that, just to get your body physically ready, get the joints warmed up, the blood moving, the ligaments all warmed up, lubricated before you actually start lifting. Just because when you walk into the gym and your body isn't really prepared, physically prepared for this type of, these movements, it doesn't work out very well, right? So you at least want to get physically prepared, but not only that, but mentally prepared as well. That's when you start doing warm-up sets like you do with the bar, bench press do just with the bar, then add in like 25 pounds and then add in 45 pounds, right? So that your body, and then add in maybe a plate in 25 pounds, so that your body is mentally prepared for what's to come. Especially if you're going to be lifting heavy, your body needs to, you can't just go into just shocking the nervous system and your body's like, oh shit, you put all this weight on me, I'm not even ready for it, I'm not even physically or mentally prepared. I'm like, whoa, I don't think I can handle this right now. And then you get injured and then you don't believe you can do it, right? That's the issue with not warming up properly before, whether it's foam rolling. I mean, preferably I've read studies that static stretching before workouts isn't the best. Preferably post workout, probably a lot better. But dynamic is actually a lot more optimal before the workouts. Maybe a little bit of foam rolling, just a little bit. But post workout, at least do some type of static stretching, like some of the basic stuff you learned back in when you were in school, right? And a little bit of foam rolling too, just to, because the muscles get tight, especially when you lift heavy weights, they get tight and they get short. Like Frank Zane talked about, that you at least want to just stretch the muscles just to kind of like move them up, kind of like get them loose, right? Because they get tight and you gotta get them back to that original length. Okay, that would be beneficial. I mean, it wouldn't fully recover him from his tennis elbow, but it's very beneficial and would prevent injury. And I don't want to say it would literally prevent injury because I don't want to get sued, but I think it would be very beneficial in applying that, right? And the last thing was, no one holds him. He's not holding. You only have so much willpower to hold yourself accountable, right? You can get up every day, force yourself to get up at 6 a.m., force yourself to eat that chicken, to eat that broccoli, to eat that rice, force yourself to fall asleep at a certain time, but you only have so much willpower until it runs out, right? All of a sudden you're like, nah, I can't get up to go to the gym. I'm really tired today. Or it's like, oh, you know what? I'll just go to McDonald's and get myself like a Big Mac. It'll be a lot easier. Or maybe, I'll stay up a couple hours, a little more, a little bit more Facebook, a little bit more funny videos. It won't hurt me. It's fine, right? And I feel like if he has someone to hold him accountable, be like, hey, get your shit together, man. You're doing this for a reason. You gotta make sure that you're pushing your limits. I know going to the gym and going to work is really hard. It's hard to stay focused when you got your family, you got your kids, you're fixing the backyard, you got that all taken care of, they're paying for it, it's a lot of money. I get it. You can get thrown off, like you're like, this guy was super focused, right? I loved it. He's like, I got tunnel vision. He's like, I really want to make this happen. I'm like, dude, that's freaking awesome, man. But it's like, he's got that tunnel vision, but then he's got like a lot of things that are affecting him, right? The kids, the backyard, the wife, the anxiety, the work, right? He starts to sort of drift off, boom, like this, right? That's where someone comes in and boom, kicks him right in the ass and says, dude, get your shit together. I'm gonna hold you accountable, make sure you're getting all this shit done, right? That's what I feel like he really needed. Someone to support him, someone to sort of hold his hand every step of the way to sort of guide him into the right direction. Because I know that it's like, you're gonna fall off, you're gonna be going like this, and it's just like, you need someone to just sort of straight line you, keep you in check, all right? So last couple things was that I would have fixed his macro. I think I already talked about this. The macronutrient profile. Pretty much went through the whole thing. His overall goals was to become more self-confident, look good, wants to be able to perform for his kids. Just because it's like, you want to be healthy. Like, just imagine in the future and you're not really taking care of your body. All of a sudden, like, You're walking with your kids, or you're walking with your wife, and all of a sudden you can't really perform in bed, or um, you can't really what do you call it, when you're walking with your kids and all of a sudden you get tired and you're like, you know what, let me take a little bit of rest. Just because, like, my dad, he never worked out, right? My dad never worked out, so when we'd go out with him, like at Disneyland or Reamer Studios, he would get tired and all of a sudden want to sit down for like an hour and just not do anything, right? That's not being able to perform optimally for me, right? You're my dad, right? I look up to you. You're my father figure to teach me to be a man, to be a king, right? And if I don't have that, how detrimental is that to me? How does that affect me? How does that negatively affect me, right? Like when I would see that and then I would see my parents fight, I'm like, dude, this fucking sucks. Like, I'm supposed to be here at Disneyland having a good time, and all I see is my parents fighting. Just because my dad can't perform right now in this situation, don't let this be you. Like, if you having an issue with this, if you're struggling with this, please reach out, and you can book one of these calls. We can go over these tips, and I can help you create sort of an action plan to take so this doesn't happen. All right? Because it's really sad, because it's like when I think about it now, I'm really sad about it. I'm like, wow, this sucks. Like, this affected me. And I think about it now, I'm like, wow. Just imagine if my dad was in shape, if he really was keeping his diet together, if he really was training, if he really had a healthy body, how could this have changed me, impacted my life now? Would I be more confident? Would I be less anxious? Would I be more focused in my life? Would I be able, to have more confidence and sort of be healthier? Really, think about it. Think about how you impact your kids, your